Hi everyone, this is Dr. Sandeep Sharma here. I've done my MD Pediatrics from PGI Chandigarh and I am your General Pediatrics Super Specialty faculty at Preplan. So in this video, I'm going to discuss how the life is going to be for you as a pediatric resident and what are the small little things you should be aware of when you start with your pediatric residency. Now, first of all, whenever you move into pediatrics, first few months of life are going to be really testing times for you because whatever you have seen, read, or whatever you have encountered so far in your MBBS and in your internship, the world of pediatrics as a resident is entirely different. You will be more responsible and you will be learning the fine skills of pediatrics as a branch. So, in the first few months, it is not about reading Nelson or going too much into theory. It is all about learning the skills because the skills you will learn at this moment, you are not, this time is not going to come again in your life, and the skills you acquire now are going to determine how good a pediatrician you are going to be in your future life. So it's like the time during which the neurons are developing. Better habits are inculcated at that time. The future life is always better, and that is the time in residency. That is the first few weeks of life. So, in the first few weeks, first few months, you should learn about how to handle a child, how to handle the parents, because here the patient himself or herself is important, but the parents are also equally important. So, how you are going to handle the anxiety of the child, of the parents, and how you are going to keep your patients is a skill that needs to be developed in this time. Plus, you will be learning about the basic skills like intubation, like cannula insertion, like catheter insertion, central line placements, and dosing of the various drugs, how you're going to dose them, how you're going to chart them, charting of calculation of maintenance fluids, and management of basic emergencies, starting epinephrine, norepinephrine in critical care patients. All these things you are going to learn in the first few months of your residency. So your focus should be on these aspects, learning these aspects, rather than just simply reading the theory. Because pediatrics as a branch is better learned in your wards and in your emergency rooms rather than sitting in your library and reading Nelson. Nelson is for guiding you. Nelson is for the theoretical aspect, but the skills are always learned in a clinical setting. Having said that, there is one important aspect that many people do not realize, but it is going to be of a immense importance in your later life. That is learning documentation. Whatever thing you are doing, whatever dose you are giving, whatever medicine you have started, you need to document it properly in the records. Words are changing, it's a medical legal world, and even if you are doing something good for the child but you have not documented it, tomorrow anybody can question you whether you actually started that drug, whether you actually did that particular thing or not. So learning documentation is extremely important and should be a part of your initial learning irrespective of which medical college you are starting your residency in. After that, in addition, you should be attending your ward rounds, you should be attending your clinical cases, seminars, etc. History taking, you'll have to relearn now as a resident. Examination skills, you will have to relearn in a more detailed way, oriented specifically for the child. You should learn now how to make differential diagnosis. When you make differential diagnosis, now your syndromes should be lower down on your priority. As a resident, you should be focusing upon what is more common in an Indian setting and then learning and making your differentials according to that. Once the first few months are over, you will start loving the branch a bit more. You will develop patience, you will develop skills, and you will be adjusted to the branch. So that initial anxiety will go away. Few months later, now the time will be on focusing on how learning about basic ventilation, learning about the various ventilation modes. You will be now going into more critical care emergencies. You will be moving into CVS and CNS cases, learning differentials, management part. You will have your postings happening in the OPD in the beyond the first 6 months of residency at most places. So you will be sitting in OPD, learning how to make that differentials. What kind of brands are you going to use? Why generic medicines should always be used, preferably over brands, and how you are going to actually clinically write that stuff rather than writing in a simply remembering the dose of a particular drug. So all these skills you are going to learn in the subsequent months. So all you need to do is need to have an open mind and some patience is needed. What books to read? Obviously, Nelson 21st edition is the bare minimum thing, that is The Bible, you need to have not only the online copy, but an offline copy is also needed. Don't take shortcuts. Nelson has to be read. In addition, Indian Academy of Pediatrics (IAP) has its own series of various specialities. You need to read those. You will be having neonatology and nursery postings. So for neonatology, Cloherty as well as AIMS protocols are extremely important. In addition, there are specific books for each particular specialty which you will come across, which you will know as time passes, which is your seniors will be able to guide you in that as well. It's always a retroactive learning in the residency, because whatever cases you see in the day before you sleep or during your night duty, once you are a bit free, you should be reading about those particular things from Nelson. Like suppose in the day you saw a child with infantile spasm, so you manage the child and the child's seizures were controlled, or in a OPD the child dose adjustment was done for ACTH. Before you sleep, this was an important case. So before you sleep, just open the chapter on Nelson and try to see what are the mechanisms of infantile spasm. There are broadly three mechanisms. So those three mechanisms, key words you need to remember, and why ACTH is acting, why vigabatrin is acting. You can take the help of review articles in case you want to do more in-depth study, but better would be to stick to textbooks along with whatever each medical college, each department has its own set of favorite authors, Indian authors, so you can go with that as well. Now, what not to do as a pediatric resident? First of all, you should not be taking it too easy, because this is a learning time and you should push yourself a bit. Secondly, you should not start thinking about how much money I'm going to make, how much, what are the prospects. You keep an eye for that, but you need to understand that if you're good in your skills, money will automatically come. Run after excellence. If you're good in your job, wherever you are, you will make a lot of money. So residency time is all about learning and not thinking about, see, these things are important, but they will eventually turn out in a better way in case you have the required skills. So focusing on skills and patience is more important. Thirdly, you should not be there will be some tough scenarios in your residency where you would want to visit your grandparents, or you want to attend a wedding of your friend and you don't get holidays for that. That is a part and parcel of the system. Try to learn human resource skills, how you can adjust duties and how you can request your seniors to give you leave for that. So those human resource skills also you need to learn during residency. In addition, you also need to learn from your teachers, your consultants. Some of them may be harsh with you in residency. We all are humans. We all have our ways of dealing with our subordinates. Some people are a bit more soft with words. Some people are a bit harsh with words. End of the day, there is everything to learn from everyone. So be humble and try to accept whatever things your seniors or your consultants are teaching you. End of the day, residency is a tough job because you have a lot of pressures from everywhere. Try to balance those pressures, and in between, whenever you get breaks, go out for your movies in the breaks, not during duty time. Go out for your movies, whatever hobby you have, listen to songs, sing songs, make painting, whatever. Just don't become a mechanical person. So when you are on duty, you should be totally devoted towards your duty. When you are off duty, try to take your mind off, give it proper rest, and do not miss your morning breakfast, do not miss your morning presentations or seminars which are there. Earlier, I used to, when I was a resident, I always used to be late, and I still remember my HOD, Dr. Professor Sunit Singh, he used to be there in PGI. He would have caught me innumerable number of times, and he would always say that you don't realize the importance now. Later on, I totally understand how important those lectures were, and do not compromise on all this teaching which happens in your medical colleges, because nobody is going to make you sit and make you read. It is only when you attend seminars, you attend rounds, that you are going to learn, and you will be calibrating it with whatever you are reading. Now, talking about opportunities and prospects of pediatrics. Once your residency is over, you can sit for a super specialty exam and you can go for super specialty. You can directly move into a corporate job after doing your MD. You can move into senior residency and try to be a consultant in a medical college. You can move into private practice as well. You can go into research if you want that. There are government jobs as well as short service commissions which offer excellent pay scales and opportunities for pediatricians. And then combination of these can also be done. Like in my case, I went in for I did I did acquire some experience by working in as a senior resident. I did some private jobs. I worked in a corporate setting, and then I started with my private practice. I do practice as well as I do teaching because I love to teach. So both the things which I wanted to do, I'm doing right now, and so you can take a call based upon your preferences. Pediatrics does give you that leeway for future. Now, coming to pros and cons of pediatrics, first thing is satisfaction. The satisfaction rate in pediatrics is pretty good. See, there are people who will never be satisfied in anything in life, and there are people who are easily satisfied. Most of us lie between these two extremes, and as a branch, pediatrics is immensely satisfying because you are dealing with kids, you are treating kids, you are alleviating their misery, you are bringing a smile on the face of the kid, their parents, and it's your profession. While you're following your profession, you are doing that. So it's a very satisfying field in one sense, I would say. Kids always make better patients than adults. Their response to therapy is always better if you compare it to that of adults. The second thing is, if in case you want to move into private practice, very little investment is needed compared to a branch like radio diagnosis, where a lot of investment will be needed if you want to do your own thing. In pediatrics, all you need is your stethoscope, your basic thermometer, and normal kit which you make in your residency, and a place to sit, and a board outside, and you can easily start your practice. Practice itself will take time to pick up, but the initial investment is relatively very little. And third thing is, it's a branch where even if you become a super specialist, see, if you are a general pediatrician, you will be seeing all types of pediatric cases. But even if you become a super specialist in pediatrics, you will be a master of your specialty. Plus, the other general cases of pediatrics, still you can easily see. For example, you are a pediatric gastroenterologist and you're doing endoscopies day in and day out. Still, you find a Down syndrome patient, you know how to work up the patient. Nothing stops you from seeing other specialties. For example, another example, if you're a pediatric intensivist and still you find that the patient is having a rash, you can still make the differential diagnosis in an OPD. So your scope of skills is not only limited to your specialty in pediatrics, but easily extends to the other parts of general pediatrics as well. Benefit in pediatrics is, leaving aside the first few years after finishing your degree, you will have to do in the first few years of your post MD thing or post SS thing. You will have to do your night duties, but later you can decide how much hours you want to work. How much, obviously, the financial remuneration will be proportionate to that, but you can always decide that. And it's an intriguing field. A child is not an adult. He will not be able to give you history. So based upon your skills, based upon your examination and correlating with investigations, you're going to reach the answer. So it's an exciting thing in case you like those, investigative fields. Being a pediatrician, you can always bring out your internal Dr. Gregory House and reach the diagnosis. So in that aspect, and it is still a very well respected field. Like if you say bachon ka doctor, the society in general gives you a lot of respect. So that is a very important consideration in today's times. Other than that, let's also discuss a few cons. Now, first few months in residency, first few months in super specialty residency, and first few months after you move into practice, they can be exhausting. Many of you will even start questioning yourself. So it happened with almost everyone. It happened with me also. Like once my MD started and my emergency duties started, I was doing 36 hours duties also with a gap of 12 hours and then coming again and attending clinics. So at that time, and then some seniors are harsh with you. You don't get leaves sometimes. So you start questioning yourself. Why am I toiling myself? Is it all worth it? My seniors told me to be patient, and I would also today tell you the same thing: be patient. It's a phase in life which everybody passes through. Once that phase is over and you look back, I don't think I could have been anything else. It was all worth it, at least in my case, and it will be for in your case as well. You just need to be patient and develop the right skills. Regarding money, money will not come immediately. Money will come slowly. So you need to have realistic expectations once you start. But it will all depend upon what kind of skills you have. And in case of OPD practice, it is always better. In case private practice as a general pediatrician, it is always better in smaller towns compared to bigger cities. As if you want to settle in bigger cities, being a super specialist is always handy. And it is not an intervention based branch. So when you start practice or you work in a corporate hospital, it's not a steep curve, it is a gradual curve that is there. So you need to understand that when you talk about the financial part of pediatrics. In the end, I would say that taking up a branch is just like getting married. There is no perfect person in this world, but once you do take up a branch or once you do get married, you try to make the best out of it. You stay loyal, you develop patience, and if you're loyal, if you're honest in your efforts, in your commitment, you will always come out. Life will be kind to you, and your branch will be kind to you. So that is all I can say. This is all my perspective. There can be differences with this as well. We all have our different ways of, we all have different experiences. This is my perspective regarding life as a pediatric resident. Thank you very much.